Welcome to our Earth Day preview. We are getting hyped and excited about Earth Day, which is going to be a little different this year. Peggy is here to talk to us about some of the really cool things that we're doing this year. We have Melissa, Ivy, and Tammy in the house to talk about some of the things that Her Many Voices has done in previous years. Her Many Voices, so excited to be celebrating Earth Day as we honor our mother and each other through community and gathering. So I'm just going to jump right in since everybody is like pumped to be here. And we'll kind of go around and maybe introduce yourself and tell us one thing that you enjoy about Mother Nature and or the Earth. Melissa, I'm going to start with you.
Mavrika, good morning, everybody. Current time and in the future. My name is Melissa Ivy. I'm the Activate Elevate Director for Her Many Voices. And for me, Earth is retuning my body, the instrument. As you can probably see, I'm a musician. There's some instruments, and I'm in my studio in Denver now. And so for me to not only help produce my own music, but other people's music, we start in the backyard. We start with tea, and we start with listening to the wind, to the birds. Before we record, before we attempt to make anything, we ask our Mother Nature. And so for me, that is definitely a learned behavior from the type of people that are in this space right now and the type of people that are in my space. So I'm gonna pass it to Tammy.
To me? Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. I'm in the East Coast, so it's already 1 o'clock. Um, my name is Tammy, Tamara Kantav, but everyone calls me Tammy. I am the chair of Her Many Voices Foundation. And to answer your question, Victoria, about what it is about Earth, or even the celebration of Earth Day that gets me going, it's that I'm always amazed at as I just came in from making a couple of errands literally before I sat down, and I was trying to capture the changes that are going on right now in Mother Nature, and there are always changes going on. I mean, it never stops. We may not notice them if we're not paying attention, but the Mother Nature speaks to us just by the changes that she undergoes on a daily basis. I have never really paid attention to that in the past. And a few years ago, I started to really wanted to identify those changes as they go through season. We're changing. We're moving into a new season right now. So there's definitely changes going on. And I love to try to capture that since I do stay on the road quite a bit. And so I get to see a lot of it as I travel, the hours that I stay behind the wheel. And so that's what really fascinates me right now about Mother Nature.
Yeah,
So
thank
let me
you.
do the thing and pass it on to Peggy.
Thank you, Tammy. My name's Peggy MacArthur, and I've been working with Her Many Voices for, I don't know, about a year now, doing tech support for their Gaia Gossip. But I'm also excited because I'm a part of the Earth Day celebration and getting all of these amazing films together. And it's not just films for entertainment, it's films for enlightenment, for education, for wisdom. And of course I've got to see all of the films, and so it's amazing the vast variety that we have, but it's all the same chord running through. And that is how we honor humanity, how we honor Mother Earth, how we honor wisdom. And I'm just excited to be a part of that. And how does Earth, what was the question? How does Earth, how do I feel? I think by trait, I'm by training, I've been a professional photographer for over 37 years. So I think that nature to me is beauty in the flaws, in what we would say, the broken things, or the dead limb that's on the ground. Like, those are the things that I find empowering and beautiful. And just being able to see such a variety. And I like that Tammy said change, but is it change when it's constant?
I mean, I feel like change is the great constant.
Right? And nothing is ever the same.
Mm,
The more variety that we have, the more diversity that we have, the more different perspectives that we have, the more we see and the more exciting it is. And I think that the Mother Earth shows us that lesson in a day-to-day basis.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So, and yeah, so a quick intro. So I'm Victoria Carrington Chavez. I've been working with Her Many Voices for the last couple of years as a narrative strategist, and it's been really great to tell and support and help the story of Her Many Voices, which has been helping Mother Earth, women, children, people, and really just helping connect community to each other, to I really love the quote that your backyard is bigger than you think, because I feel like the work with Her Many Voices has really been this backyard feeling. And we're all kind of connected, and we can celebrate in the alignment and the things that really excite us. And all of you said the things that felt good to what Earth is, what we can cherish. And I was thinking that too about Peggy, about the diversity. In like the road trip that I just did across America, and just seeing the different landscapes and the beauty in all the different landscapes and what that can teach us about ourselves as a collective. So I want to pass it over to Peggy, because and Mel and Tammy can tell us a little bit later in the show a bit about where we've kind of been as a legacy with Her Many Voices and Earth Day. But this year we're doing something so different and so exciting. And Peggy mentioned films, but I'm curious, Peggy, why are films an important way to share stories right now?
Well, I mean, for me, I'm a very visual learner. So, I love that. And I think that, filmmakers, it's such an art. Filmmakers have such an art of storytelling. They understand how sound, how audio, how visual, how all the things play in clearly, not just it's not just the words, it's not just the visuals, but it's the angles, the power that we all feel that brings up the emotions.
Mm,
And when I tell you, we have found some of the most talented storytellers, most powerful films. Everyone's going to be really excited. There was we got several submissions, and the ones that we picked were just breathtaking. And I think that it allows us to connect. It allows us to see ourselves in the story, because that reminds me of what I heard this, or my aunt, or and we all can engage more and connect more when we watch it. It makes it feel like we're part of it, like we know them. I know you. By the time that that's over, by the time you're done watching it, you feel a connection to people that you would never have the opportunity to feel after that, before the happening.
wow, yeah, you feel a connection. And welcome, Merrick. We're so glad that you're here. We are talking a bit about Earth Day and what people can look forward to this year with films. And I, I will let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role in this upcoming Earth Day.
Sure. Hi, my name is Merrick MacArthur. I am the one of the MCs for the Earth Day Prelude event, and we are welcoming some wonderful films for this year. And I'm an actor in Los Angeles, and I'm happy to come up and be the MC for the event that's happening in Denver, and meeting all the wonderful filmmakers and showing these films to our audience. So thanks for having me on the show.
Of course, thank you for being here. So I will ask you a similar question of why what can films teach us? So what
I
can films
think
teach
that
us? Oh, sorry.
audiences get inspiration, they get connection. Bless you, Peggy. From art in general, from whether it's paintings or there's poetry, and certainly film. And with the visual experience with film, you will be able to gain some awareness, gain more connection, and just experience that expression of an artist, and also learn, different cultural perspectives on things. And that's what one of the things that the Prelude is going to be doing is giving that perspective and the beauty and the importance of the Earth, the planet, the cultures on Earth, and community. How important it is to have a worldwide community.
Yes, thank you. And before I pass it over to Melissa and Tammy to talk a little bit about artivism, uh, would you tell the people where they can come to the event and some of the details about our upcoming Earth Day event? So, oh, Merrick.
For me,
Yes.
where?
Yeah, where can people some of the details of where people can find the event and what days and where they can buy tickets?
There's a website. Peggy has more information on that as well. But for our filmmakers, they were able to come in to submit their films, and there is a site. I can't think of the address at the moment. We can probably put it up.
We got you. her, her many voices.
Yes, and Harmony Voices.
Voices.org.
And
Yep.
you'll be able to see really what Earth Day's been about. It's been going on for a couple of years now, and this is the first year that we're doing this the curated film experience to kind of expand the event to film and to more artists and widen it out to more creators. But yeah, it'll be in Denver, Colorado. It will happen on April the 18th. It'll be for one day. It'll be an all-day event. It is going to be fantastic with films, with music, with dancing. It is going to be amazing.
Awesome.
And
Peggy?
And don't forget, the night before we have a special music event as well. So on the 17th, you can come and join us for music. And during the day, like Merrick said, not only are we going to have films, but we're going to have a lot of cultural experiences as well. We're going to have some dancers. They wouldn't let us have fire. I'm just going to say I tried to get fire for you guys. We're having really cool LED lights instead. Something about safety, fire marshals, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, historical buildings not burning down, that kind of thing. You want to make sure you're not.
I did try, Victoria. I tried to get actual fire, but it's still going to be really amazing.
I believe it, and thank you for that attempt of getting fire. But I feel like there's going to be enough fire from the synergy of people that I know from Her Many Voices will bring the fire. And then on the bottom of the screen, you can see purchase your tickets. It's www.hermanyvoices.org, Earth Day 2026, and we would love to see you there. So we're not ending. We're just kind of letting you know to get your ticket, and also that Peggy tried to get us fire. So we're going to need people to bring their energy and their fire.
But I did get a lot of really cool things through. So trust me, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Before we switch over to Mel and Tammy, is there anything you can tell us about any teasers or any sort of thing you can tell us about some of the films that people can look forward to?
There was a film that Merrick and I, we screened the films together, and there was a film that you guys are all going to love. And there was, a lot of talking, a lot of things. And then there was this one little scene in the middle of the film that had no words. It was just like a collage of things that you saw. And when I tell you that I cried with no words, that was the most powerful little segment. And I was like, how did they do that? And it was like that. Every single film had its own little magic to it. Mary, do you want to add anything without giving spoilers?
Sure. I mean, there's at least one or two films that had just show the awesome beauty of nature of our planet. And I know there's one film in particular that really brought that out and just, for me, set the tone for the whole event. But yes, impactful is what we were looking for. And that's certainly what we got in our film selections for this first year of the Prelude.
And something else I don't want to forget to mention, we're having red carpet. I mean, it's actually going to be a green carpet because duh, Earth Day. But so if you've got to come and get pictures on the red carpet. We'll have professional photographers there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you definitely don't want to miss this. It's a full on cool event.
Yes, it will be one of the hottest tickets in Denver. So April 17th and 18th, the benefit concert starts at 6 p.m., then 9 to 5 all day on the 18th. And you can get your tickets at www.hermanyvoices.org, Earth Day 2026, and we'd love to see you there. So thank you so much, Merrick and Peggy, for your time, all of the time and energy that you've put into this. And we're so excited to celebrate Earth Day with you in Denver. As we're transitioning, Melissa and Tammy, we invited you on here to talk about kind of where we talked about where we're going. We are about to talk about where we've been. And so Earth Day has been a very important celebration. Impeccable timing, Alicia Fall. As I was saying, Earth Day has been a very important celebration for Her Many Voices for a number of years since 2021. And I felt like you were probably the best person to talk about that as you entered in.
Excuse the tardiness. It's been a crazy, crazy morning. Everyone from the LA time all the way to Amsterdam and then all the way to New Zealand. It's been nonstop since 5 this morning. Any rate, good to see you all. So I don't know how much you've shared. You know, Her Many Voices has been around. March 2nd was 17 years. And back in 21, we decided we're going to do this Earth Day event. And, you know, that first go round, we had 65 countries actually that participated. There were, I believe, we had 5 continents as well. And so it's grown since then. And this is going to be the first time we are moving into this venue, Cleo Parker Robinson Dance Theater. Cleo she is an icon in the Denver region,
Yes.
well, and beyond, with her dance troupe. And they received this wonderful grant a couple of years ago, and they've expanded in their theater. And so we are going to be one of the first to have an event there. And very excited about it. So we've got a mixed bag of people who are coming in. We've got folks who are coming in from, you've heard us talk about Wynn Ecological Nature Reserve in Haiti, and we've been working there. Tammy and I have been attached at the hip for the past 16 years with the Haitian community. And so we've been working with these ladies, Jane Wynn and her daughter, Melissa Day, and also her other daughter, Sarah Day. We've been working with them for almost 16 years now. And Jane and Melissa will be joining us. We're going to be showing a couple of the films that we've done around them, that were done around them. And they're going to be speaking about, well, what Wind Farm has been doing, where they are now, and the vision for their future. We've got a dear brother now from the Maori community from Aotearoa. Koro Carmen is going to be joining us, and he's going to be sharing about what he's been doing with a particular invasive species called gorse, Gorse, and how we are working now. We're partnering together with that particular plant as well as the hemp industry. And then we've got a whole bunch of other people coming to the table as well to share what they've been doing in this world and to take care of people and planet, because that's what it's all about. You know, it's not just, I know a lot of individuals and corporations are focused very much on pocket and power. We, especially as Indigenous peoples, are focused on people and planet, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
So There
Love
you
that.
go.
Love that. Thank you. Mic
Listen,
drop. Thank you, Alicia.
we now
All
have
right. And
anything to say. She
yes,
said it all. So thank
she
you for
said
that,
it. She
Alicia.
said it. So, yes, thank you, Alicia. We are honored, you're vision holder, and it's been really cool, even just in the last few years, to see how the vision has shifted. And I'm sure Tammy can speak to how it's shifted over the last 16 plus years. But before we get into that, Melissa, I want to ask you. So we use at Her Many Voices, we use this term artivist a lot, and I know you're an artist and an artivist, and can really speak to the power of creativity and the power of art and why it's important, um, especially this day and age.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, she froze.
She's now the only one frozen in time.
Oh no. All
Yes.
right.
I would say that's Loki playing with us right now.
Oh
We have the
no.
trickster messing with us.
So, well, I'm going to tag in you then, Alicia, as also an artivist, to kind of share a bit about that.
I'm sorry, she just disappeared completely. And so repeat the question. I'm sorry,
No worries.
Victoria. I have
No
something
worries.
else going on in the background as well.
No worries. She will make her way back, but
Yeah,
Her Many Voices uses the term artivist a lot,
yeah,
and
yeah.
artivism, and sharing a little bit more about that, why art is so important to activism, and obviously film being a part of that art and creativity. But we at Her Many Voices had a legacy with art.
Right. So a little bit about my background. Prior to doing this, I was in the music industry for most of my adult career. And I found myself doing a lot of benefit concerts. So I thought, why not marry the artistic with the humanitarian side? And that's when Her Many Voices was birthed. When we first started, the tag was Artist Response to Humanitarian Need. And I can tell you, as artists, we might not have two pennies in our pocket, but we're the first ones to raise our hand and say, how can I help? And that's across the board. It doesn't matter what field of art that you're in. And I reference to artivists because it's that combination of artist as well as activist. You know, a lot of us who are doing this work, a lot of us who are doing work in humanitarian world, period, I would consider us more of activists because we are working towards changing what the environment is today quite often to something that is more empowering for the people. You know, we've got to elevate ourselves. Whatever it is that we've been doing up until this point clearly is not working on many levels. So it is that activist who really helps to ignite that change. So the combination of the arts and activism, I believe artivists are really some of the most powerful people we have on the planet. We have a voice, and we oftentimes are given that stage to present and bring to the table the issues that many people are not even aware of. So we need to take advantage of that. We need to own that voice that we have and the privilege of what we can do in this world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love art in the fact of it's something you're creating. It can create, you are creating from something that you believe is real, that you can then create it and make it real. And
Yeah.
what a perfect kind of medium for activism. And especially as we're creating the world that we want to see. And that's what I feel like working with Her Many Voices, the community, the connection, it is really creating that world that love to see. So
Yeah.
Melissa is back.
Sorry, it was time
Welcome.
All
traveling,
right. We can't.
everybody.
You're,
I'm here.
it's all good. We're glad you're back. So we were talking about the power of art and activism, artivism, and would love to hear some of your work with Her Many Voices and that and
Yeah.
how that parallels.
Yeah, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about the short time traveling trip. One of the side effects of being a musical doula. Um, so yeah, talking about the past events that we've done, as a mom and daughter started organization, really rooted by the ideas and the culture of our grandmothers. we started small. And I remember the year, maybe mom remembers this, where we put together little flower pots, and we had folks who were driving through to pick up seeds, and we were handing out the Three Sisters. And it happened to be just us and some family friends. Um, and so we did what we could do with what we had. And I think that idea, and just being persistent, has led to past events where, we've come together in Amsterdam and created a celebration within the community there. And this year, or last year, I was able to, as a community cultivator, organize some of my friends, some of the vendors, some of the local healers here in Denver, to really have a positive exchange and celebrate Mother Earth. So this year, I am just so excited to go to Cleo Parker Robinson, a place that I've grown up going to see Granny and her drum played, every Christmas, for those folks who know the community culture. And as it's growing, we're growing with it. So as my mother, Alicia, mentioned, we are 17 years old as an organization and really developing these communities around the world. So this year we get to uplift and center voices, and we get to take you on a little journey through these films. So I am so excited to grab my popcorn with pinon and a little Cholula, and just to gather with my family, with my friends, and go on this world journey, as Merrick was mentioning. Film is one of the most important ways that really gets into all of our senses. It's not just a visual, it's auditory. And as Peggy was mentioning, there are films in my life that have no dialogue, that have made such an impact on me and my artistry. Too many to mention here. So I'm excited to just join with you, siblings from my past and future siblings. So thank you, Victoria, for doing all the glamorous behind the scenes things. Um,
Thank you.
and,
I have a
yeah.
team. We're a team.
And you asked me about what is an artivist. Now, my mother and I, we were sitting on her big old couch, and she said, "How do you really define what you're doing these days?" And I said, "Well, I heard from a poet this term artivist. And I think it focuses and centers my art right along with being an activist." And I think at a time that people weren't talking about politics, or maybe they weren't even thinking globally, they could start in that backyard that Victoria talks about. We could do something small, even if it was just beans, corn, and squash. And so this idea has really grown myself as a artist, not just musically, but I do ceramics. I do performance art. Merrick and I are both MCs. So, that's a whole artist perform in itself. Stretching sometimes, the dialogue, right? And knowing the vibration of healing. So that's really, for me, as an actual doula, as a birth worker, that is an art. So it's really pairing everything that I do while not excluding my dancers, my other ceramicists, maybe my folks who aren't musically inclined, but they're the visual storytellers. So that's what we get to focus on this year. And I'm so excited to be a part of this team. So
And I
thank
and I
you,
don't
everybody.
and I don't know if you guys had discussed this already. So the her of her many voices makes reference to Mother Earth. This is not strictly a women's organization or women's and girls organization. So it's her, Mother Earth, and the many voices. It's not just us as humans. We are making reference to the trees and the rivers and the plants and the waters, the creatures of the waters and the creatures of the sky. We are all that voice. We need to all come together and respect each other and truly listen, instead of being so dismissive, because humans have a tendency of feeling like, oh, we're dominant over everything. And that is not the case. So we need to all come together. So the fact that we have these beautiful voices that are coming together for this event, it just thrills me to no end. And I love the fact that we have balance here. Thank you, Merrick, for joining.
Yes.
We need the male balance in our lives, right? Everything in life needs to be about balance. We don't get to move forward in a healthy way without it. So we have Merrick, then we've got Theo come to the table, Theo Wilson coming to the table, then we've got Tommy Nohulu. We've got a number of these beautiful men who are walking with us and supporting us in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. And Merrick and Theo did a show recently for Black History Month about filmmaking and storytelling, and it is on our YouTube channel. Highly encourage people to watch it as they're getting ready for Earth Day and these lovely films. Merrick, I want to pass it over to you for a moment to talk about what's really exciting about the event is some filmmakers are going to be there and people can have conversations with them because, as it's been said, film really moves people. They can feel really inspired, and so there can be that opportunity to have some of those conversations, and tell people the impact of their film. Are there any filmmakers that you could share with us, or are we leaving it a bit of a surprise, that you want to encourage people to connect and follow and be excited about?
Uh, yes, I don't want to. There's several. I mean, I know a good example might be Dewi, who's got a wonderful film called My Name Is Not Amy, and just hearing that her story about that film and the inspiration about it, and just the impact of the subject matter of her film. This event gives the way for people to dialogue about that and to communicate about that topic. And that's it's a very important reason to come to this event is to experience that film, understand new things you may not be aware of, or just have more insight about certain topics. And that's one example. So yeah, I'd say Dave is a great example. There's several others that we've invited that are volunteering their films for us.
Wonderful. And you are an artivist as an actor. And so a lot on the show with Theo, you talked about the power of representation and being able to like share those stories. And can you share a little bit more for today in why storytelling matters and why it's so important to share these voices and whose voices should we be listening to?
Sure, I think the idea of representation and film and art in general, it's about perspectives. Because when you only have one perspective or one narrative going, then you distort reality. And when you have that idea that there's only this one world that's being portrayed or being exhibited or being, put out there, it conflicts with the real world, and that it sort of disrupts our senses as people, and it really adds to confusion. So I think having the diversity, having the range of topics, the range of people, the range of perspectives really helps us better understand our world and better progress as inhabitants of this planet, as nurturers of this planet, and make that more harmonious and make our journey in life more powerful, more impactful for not just us, but for people around us. So yeah, having that representation is way more than just, oh, I need to see this face there. It's about the entire world, our whole planet. That's what makes it important. Not just, oh, you're only telling, I want to see this other story. It's like you really need to understand your world, the world around you better, and that's what's more helpful. That's my thought about representation.
Powerful to hold the world around you, and it really speaks to your backyard is bigger than you think, as Alicia has said before. And Merrick, I know that we know that your time is limited, so
Mhm.
before you hop off, is there any invite that you would like to give out to the people just for the event? And any last words before you hop off? And we're just so honored. We're excited that you and Peggy have helped create this amazing event. And yeah, any last words?
Well, I'm honored to be invited by Alicia to be a part of this event because the way we're structuring this is going to be a magical time for all there. And this is something that is a new step for the Earth Day event that Alicia normally puts on, and it's meant to progress forward into something even bigger. So I look forward to the music, the dancing, the visual art, the actual, static art that we're going to have there, and the speakers there, and like Elisa said, the voices that we're going to experience, not just human voices, but voices of the earth. I mean, these are things that we want to connect with. So you're in Denver, Colorado on 17th and 18th of April. This is definitely something that you want to stop in and experience with us because this is going to be a magical time. So
Yeah, absolutely. It is the prelude. It is the beginning. It is,
exactly, it is the beginning.
yes. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Merrick.
much.
We
Yes,
appreciate
take care.
you.
Thank you, Merrick.
Thank you.
Look
And
forward to seeing you.
yes, so we will see you in Denver on April 17th and 18th. And you can get your tickets at www.hermanyvoices.org, Earth Day 2026. And yes, if you are in the Denver area, or even if you are outside the Denver area, like come join us. And so, as we've talked about where we're going, I'm so excited to tap Tammy in to tell us a little bit about where we've been. You have been a part of Her Many Voices for a minute, right? Like a hot minute. So, what has Earth Day celebrations, how have you seen them evolve? And what has been some of your favorite memories of previous Earth Days?
Okay, thanks for that. Well, as you said, I've been here from the almost the very beginning. I think Melissa, out of all of us on the screen, she's probably the first who, with Alicia, has been at this from the very beginning. If the name came from what you remembered, Melissa, with Artivist, but I came a year later, and it was the beginning of Her Many Voices, and it was the seed that, talking about Mother Earth and how she operates. It's always about a seed that is planted, and then we have to nurture it until it grows and it blooms, and then it could live on for hundreds and hundreds of years. We never know, right, what it's going to take or how long it's going to stay alive. But our role is to constantly nurture it, nourish it with what it needs, and see what it can produce for us. And so that's what I've seen Her Many Voices do over the years. In 2013, no, 2010 was when Alicia and I first met, and she said Her Many Voices had begun the year before. And so it was very new. There were lots that we were learning, both of us. I mean, I was already engaged in the community that I was working in Haiti. And so Alicia was gracious to join me, and we have grown ever since. And I have missed some of the things that have happened in Denver since I live in Virginia now. But when we first met, I lived in New York. And so I have not been privy to a lot of the other things that have gone on in Denver. But when it comes to Haiti, and when
Mm.
you met in New York, because there's been projects all over the place. That's the beauty about Her Many Voices. There's no one location, it's global. And so I have seen that even when we did the very first Earth Day event, where it was, as Alicia mentioned, 65 performers or attendees, people who actually presenters in 5 different continents. It went on for over 12 hours. I think it was like 13 hours with Alicia emceeing the whole event. You remember? Yeah.
It was a Jerry Lewis telethon type.
You see the whole thing. It was her face. We saw her voice. We heard constantly. And so it was a great introduction to what we were doing. It was global. It brought in so many different cultures and communities, and everyone was sharing what it is that they wanted to produce, what they wanted to share with the rest of us about what their input was going to be when it come to nurturing and honoring Mother Earth. And so, and that was for 2 years. I mean, I don't think the second year was as bad as the first, and it was, she didn't have to MMC the second one, but we did that on a global scale for the first 2 years. The third year was done in Amsterdam, which Melissa was present for that. And last year she actually organized the event, and it's just been an awesome experience to see the different people that comes together when it comes to honoring Mother Earth and what it is that they're sharing, what they're expressing. And I'm learning so much. I haven't, I always feel a little bit of a remorse that I never really, grew up in a backyard where I was getting my hands dirty, where I really connected with Mother Nature. And with her many voices, I'm able to do that. I'm able to do that and make up for all the times that for all the years that I didn't know how to connect. And so when I get around the group that comes together for Her Many Voices, that's what I leave with. I leave with a different understanding of how my role in on this earth is, what I can do. I get to feel like heard. I get to feel a little bit of more support from everyone around, and it's just been a wonderful experience. So to the one that's happening next month, I am anxious to see what the films are going to reveal, because I can be a buff when it comes to, watching certain films and wanting to experience what the person who directed it will need us to experience, and walk away with a knowledge that I never had before. And just listening to Peggy describe what she was able to do when she was picking and choosing the films that they were putting together and the experiences that she even felt, I'm anxious to see what that's going to do for me and everyone else who attends. So it's just been a wonderful journey, and I don't ever know where this is going to go next year, the following year, but it's just been a seed that has not stopped producing. I think it's going to do another 17 years easily. And so I'm ready for the ride, and I'm thankful that I am a part of that ride, and I've been a part of it for so many years. So thank you all for that, though.
Yeah, and Victoria, so the first year we were doing a lot of local work in Colorado, right? If someone was dealing with breast cancer, if someone had if they lost their home to a fire, whatever it was more of that local. And it wasn't until I was introduced to Tammy right after the quake, because Her Many Voices was actually getting ready to we had partnered up with another organization out of Boulder that was going to Haiti with supplies. And so I asked, what's on the wish list? And we were able to gather some materials to send down with that particular group. And it was a medical team that was going. Some of you are familiar with Dr. Patch Adams. He's known as the clowning doctor. Robin Williams did a film on him. So Patch was going down with his team. And I believe it was American Airlines that actually gave the plane for that. And so with the products that we were sending down with that particular team, it ignited all sorts of things. And it certainly ignited something in me, because I recognized that while I was standing there and everything was being sent off to the plane, there was something that was missing in me. And I felt I really need to be on the ground. That was most important for me. There are a lot of things you can kind of visualize what's happening in someone else's life. You can kind of visualize what's happening in someone else's country and the devastations that that they are in the midst of or are going through. It is a very different world when you are on the ground. And so that ignited me, and spending that time, because Tammy and I met just a few weeks after the quake. And then, a couple of weeks after that, there we were in Haiti together. And I thought, well, at first I'm going down thinking, well, who am I? I'm just this musician, I'm just this one person. And then you recognize the power of you as an individual and what you get to do in this world. For
Mhm.
me, I had a platform. I could go back home, stand in front of an audience, and start talking to them about what was going on and what's happening to the folks there and what the need is. Um, and thank you to Tammy, we then went global. That
Mm.
was the first step in going global. And now our work is definitely on that global path. We are all over the place. Um,
Absolutely.
and my focus, wherever for Indigenous communities, particularly for the women and children, in those communities, if there is a need, I'm really good at finding resource, that
Mhm.
person of resource, that company of resource. So that's where I get to shine, and that's what we as Her Many Voices can bring to the table. So, Tammy, thank you for really jumpstarting us into the global arena, because it was something that was needed. And I had no idea that that's the direction that we were going to go. I had no idea that was the direction I was going to go. That's for sure.
No,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you, Alicia, because as I was describing recently over the weekend with Koto that you mentioned from New Zealand, the journey that led us today to be together and I was telling him that about 2 days ago. And, I didn't have a clue what the next step was for me because I was describing to Koto as a coup d'etat with the first organization that I was working in the first community and looking for others to help because I was not giving up on playing a role in how communities are affected positively in Haiti. And so that drive will never stop. And so meeting you, wasn't sure where that was going to go, but man, has this been a fruitful relationship, not just for me,
Yeah.
but for the people in Haiti, because you know what we've been able to accomplish in the communities that we've stepped foot in, three of them to be exact, from Fontveret to Tigouave and Kenskoff, and everyone in between, the lives that we've impacted because they were all connected to making what we've succeeded in doing in Haiti, being able to do. We were able to do that because of the individuals that we had to bring to the table, and some we've lost. But I don't know how to thank you. The people in Haiti doesn't know how to thank you. But we will keep trying. We will keep trying to say thank you so much for what you do because you keep doing it, and now you're launching your How Many Voices is launching itself outside to go into New Zealand. I can only imagine the impact you're going to have there with that community as you start to really go beyond what you've done, but to see what the vision for the future is, because we never really know. Things are changing so much today, but there's always hope. Hope is all we got, girl.
Yes,
Hope,
that's true. Hope is
hope
all
is
we got.
all we
Yeah,
got.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. And I'm really excited because now we're working with the Maori community, and working with Maori. It's just my heart has opened
Mm.
exponentially, because of the embrace of their community,
Yeah.
and so very excited about what we get to create there. Um,
Yes.
our core value, and I have my mom to thank for this, is whatever I do for another, I do for myself.
Mm.
And so, we have to keep that in mind. We are all in this together. And when we work together, we rise together. When we don't, we know what happens. So the flip side of whatever I do for another, I do for myself is whatever I do to another, I do to myself.
Mhm.
And you might not think that because it might be someone on the other side of the pond from you, but there is always that butterfly effect. You are going to feel the impact, the good and not so good. You are going to feel the impact of whatever it is that you do, every thought you have, every word, and every action. So, keep that in mind as you go across your day. That,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's such beautiful wisdom and speaks to, I keep going back to that, my backyard is bigger
Mm,
than yours. Because I think that, I mean, we see so much with borders and like boxes and this idea of like we have one backyard, it is Mother Earth, really connects us and really speaks to the interconnectedness that Her Many Voices, um, just really moves forward in the foundational work that you do. So, in closing, I wanted to ask kind of a question of all three of you: is why is Indigenous wisdom of paramount importance now, more than ever? It's always been important, but I feel like in the coming days, we really do need that Indigenous wisdom and stewardship. And I know that Her Many Voices does a lot of work around preserving and uplifting and amplifying that work. So I will start with Mel, and then we'll go to Tammy and Alicia.
Perfect order. That's what I was thinking. Perfect order. Yeah.
See, the thought things work, y'all.
Okay. Um, I was really excited to hear my mother and Tammy speak first, but okay. I think when you expose people to the principles by loving them through the 4 directions and the 6 directions above and below, and you're in relation with them, then they start feeling the vibration of it's a way of being, it's a vibration. And so for me, always hungry for knowledge, always learning, always knowing that my prayers are imperfect. The little things that I have picked up from my chief and my mother and my godmother and my siblings, when I share them with people that have never been experienced to some of these ideas of 7 generations back and healing that, and 7 generations forward, I think when we bring it to what was your grandmother's name and we start the conversation from there, something softens. And so when we talk about our Indigenous principles and our knowledge, whether it's, ceremony or just being in friendship, I've really felt full circle as this is the way that I want to enter into relationships. And it's also the way that we all deserve to be treated. Like, we are sacred beings. We are all sacred as the tree, as the waters. So yeah, I'm interested to hear Tammy and my mother's take on it.
Okay, can you? The indigenous wisdom for me is the key, the foundation that we all stand on. Life is simple, and we tend to complicate things. And when you go back to understand what was meaningful, the simple ways of life, what matters hasn't changed. And the community that has kept that going is the indigenous community. They keep things as simple as possible to keep as close to what Mother Nature was meant to be. We look around, we're using technology, we're all on a laptop, we're different places in the world. We have this device, all of us, I'm sure, have one next to us. We're growing, but that's not the wisdom that we need to perfect. It's just the basic, like Mel was just saying. There are basic principles that we've overlooked, and the indigenous wisdom tend to just stay on top and stay focused on that. They don't try to make things more complicated. They are, it's simple understanding. The rules of nature have not changed in all the billions of years. I mean, we're doing damage. We're making changes happen, regrettably, but really, the core of Mother Nature and what we're doing here, that hasn't changed much. And indigenous wisdom is what keeps that conversation going, keeps reminding us how simple it is and what our role is in it, and then everything else will come together, and then we can go forward. But we don't need to complicate it, and that's what I get when I'm surrounded by folks who understand that connection to Mother Nature, and who's trying to spread that vision and that those lessons to everyone else who have forgotten that's we're not here for anything else but to preserve it and to make it, to nourish us. all of us, and for the future generations to come. We have to make sure it's there for them as well. And so I'm always grateful to be around that kind of energy when I'm around it. So that's my take on it. What about you, Alicia?
I'm right there with both of you. You know, I recognize, I mean, first, there's a calling now to Indigenous peoples, and that's globally. There is an acknowledgement of 80, we are maybe 5% of the world's population, but we take care, we tend to 80% of the needs of mother, which then extends to all of her children. Um, we need that support in order to do the work that is needed. And, um, and I believe that because of the ancestral knowledge that is passed on, it doesn't matter where in the world you are, it offers the answers that are needed right now. And as Tammy said, it's simple. You know, these are some basic things that we're going to. And if we think about it, beyond Indigenous, we are all tribal people. I don't care where in the world you are from, you are a tribal person. And think about what your ancestors did, how they addressed and honored mother, and how they addressed and honored each other and took care of community, these small communities, the intimate communities. You know, you work together because it was a survival thing. If you didn't work together, then you didn't survive, period. So that is more of the indigenous philosophy. That is certainly a tribal philosophy. And to me, it's very simple. We need to go back to that, or we need to step further into it. There are those who have led for many, many, many years, and in that leading, remind us of who we are and why we are in this world. And it is not to be divisive. It is not to destroy. It is not um, to believe that my way is a better way than yours. We are here to come together, to work together to honor our ancestors, those who have passed and those future ancestors to come. What kind of world are we leaving for those future generations? That is important to me to answer now. You know, we don't have the time that many of us think we have. We don't. If we are to leave something healthy behind for our future. For me, I want my daughters to have a better life. I want their future children to have better lives, and so on. So now is the time. We don't have any, we've used up all of the extensions. So we have to take care of what is in front of us right now. So that to me is what the indigenous wisdom is all about. And that's what I keep hearing from others in the world.
Yes. Yes, the time is now. And thank you, all of you, for your time, for your wisdom, and all of the work that you do with her many voices, to continue to show that care of mother and all of her children. The time is now. So if you are in the Denver metro, or you know what, you can fly in from anywhere in the world. Like DIA is an international airport, y'all. So you can see all of us at Earth Day. That is going to happen on April 17th, April 18th, and see some really amazing films that share the stories of Indigenous wisdom, of resilience, of community, connection, and our beautiful Mother Earth as an Earth Day celebration. So get your tickets today, www.hermanyvoices.org, Earth Day 2026. Any other things or shout outs, invites that you would like to say to the people out there?
I do want to say, I mean, Tammy and I just finished out the Industrial Hemp International Conference this last week in Denver, Colorado. The hemp industry, the people in the hemp industry, that's an extension of my family. Some of the warmest, most heart embracing people I've met have been in that industry. And we will be showing one film in particular that really speaks to my heart is The Green Buffalo, which is about this particular group, this one individual, Danny DeJarlis, who went back home to his people in the Lower Sioux. And they have now a full, that circle of economy within their community because they decided to grow hemp to build houses for their people. And it's a really empowering kind of film. It was done by Patagonia.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about that. And we've got a couple of others who are in that vein, doing that kind of on the ground work within the industry, within the hemp industry. And so that's something that I'm really excited about. You know, we've been working in the hemp industry for going on 8 years now. Um, and there's so much more to come, so much
Yes,
more. So
there.
please join us these couple of days, please.
Yes, thank you. Yes, and there is so much more to come. And if you want to catch a really great episode of Gaia Gossip with Mary Jane and Danny, you can watch that on YouTube. So thank you once again, everybody, for being here. And we will see you all at Earth Day. Thanks again.